Welcome to the Live Healthy Louisville podcast, the podcast where we dive into the heart of the city's health and wellness scene. Brought to you by Results by Design Fitness. We are going to be bringing you stories, local experts, and tips so that you can live your best life right here in Louisville.
That's right. And today it's a very special day because we have one of our own, someone that has been with our gym at Results by Design Fitness for almost 13 years. And not only has she learned how to live the life, she's learned a lot of lessons along the way. And from her intro to fitness into making fitness a part of her lifestyle, into keeping weight off and keeping it off for a decade. Not only has she taken those moments, but she's also educated herself and become a health coach so that she can impact others. It's one of our members named Jennifer Britt, and we're so happy to have her here.
Yes, this is going to be one of my favorite podcasts. Jennifer is not only a long-term member, but has become a dear, dear friend. And I'm just super excited to hear about your story and how getting into fitness has really changed your life. So I think the first step is tell us a little bit about, 13 years ago, right? January 2013 is when you got started. What were the things that were happening in your life at that moment that you felt like, hey, this is the time I need to look into a gym?
Well, first of all, I just want to say thank you for having me on. This is just such a huge part of my life and has transformed my life. So it's dear and near to me. But so back, I was trying to think about that. 13 years ago is a long time. And, but at that time I was married, 2 kids, 2 teenagers. My mom had a terminal illness, so that was stressful trying to kind of deal with that and take care of her. And, so it was a busy time. It was a stress, kind of just normal stresses. There wasn't anything horrible going on, but I will say that I felt some health changes going on. So during that time, I had just turned 40. There were some hormonal shifts going on, but I had been through a cycle of gaining and losing weight, probably 5 or 6 times. And so I think that was taking a toll on me as well. I had some gut issues. I had some depression issues that I was dealing with. And so I just remember, and we kind of laugh about it now, but I do remember literally sitting down going, it was after Christmas, and I had eaten boxes of Christmas cookies. So I almost in my mind, I saw myself going down this pathway or this pathway. And I was like, okay, if I continue doing the things that I'm doing right now, eating whatever I want, exercising on and off, not really taking care of myself as good as well as I can. I joke, we talk about consistency a lot. I was very consistent at being inconsistent.
Okay.
So I had a path in front of me, and I was like, okay, I can do that, or I can make a change. So I was really I remember right before coming to RxD, I was ready for a change. And I had tried all these other different weight loss methods. And, at that time too, I was like, oh, it's all about losing weight. It's about being as thin. Right. Yeah.
Fit into a box.
Yeah. I grew up in the 80s and 90s. So it was low fat, aerobics, just being as thin as you could. So I was kind of in that mindset, okay, I need to lose weight. And that's just going to take care of everything. So my friend Judy, we all know Judy, she had talked about her workout where she was having a competition and she was like, would you like to join me? And I was like, okay, you know what do I have to lose? I've tried everything else. I'm at this point where I really wanted to make some changes. And so maybe this will be it. If not, then it'll at least could lose some weight or at least, get something different out of it. So that was kind of the mindset I had going into the challenge that we had in 2013. And so, I would say for sure, it was a pivotal moment. It was a pivotal time in my life, and I was just ready to make changes.
So when you think about those, you talked about, stress being at a high point. You're probably not sleeping well. You're not there for your responsibilities. You had those responsibilities as a mom of teenagers and as a wife for your husband. Were there any traits or maybe the better words, emotions that you tied to with Judy in particular, where you were like, I want that? Or was it more of a, this is just compounding for me and I just have to make a change, it's make or break?
Oh, well, definitely with Judy. She was very energetic.
Yeah.
So yes, so that's probably something that I was like, oh, like that was definitely probably something that I was interested in. She was very enthusiastic, energetic, just happy, just all the reasons why we love Judy, still to this day. But yeah, definitely, I would say that I was drawn towards what she had.
Because energy attracts energy, and then when you feel like you're plateaued with it, like you got to search for something, and then maybe that was the emotional tie that helped bring you the most.
Really thought about that, but I think you're onto something.
I think a lot of people feel that same way.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And we do absolutely love Jumpstart Judy.
Yes.
Right? That's what we used to call her. And she's still just the firecracker today as she was back then.
Yeah.
And one of the things, though, I want to talk a little bit about, though, also is that, we, having worked with clients for over 20 years, one of the things that we see stop them from taking that step in the beginning is there's a lot of fears and doubts. And, it'd be hard to believe that you didn't have some of those also in the beginning, right? You said you had tried a lot of different things.
Yeah.
You were really good at being inconsistent. You had tried multiple ways to lose weight and get fit in the past. Like, what were some of those things that maybe you were dealing with?
So fears. I mean, you know what? Honestly, I had jogged the mini marathon a few times. Like I had kind of stepped out there to try different things, worked out in the church gym, and I had done things. So I knew it would be beneficial. I knew it would help, but I probably just needed more structure. Not as much fear coming in as just maybe the fear of the unknown. Like, okay, what am I getting myself into? Am I going to like this? Is it just going to be another gimmick? That kind of thing. So just maybe a little bit more of that. But, I mean, I didn't have too much fear coming through the doors. Yeah.
Looking more so just for like the structure or the guardrails in place, just to make sure hey, this path that I'm on here maybe isn't taking me to the right place. I'm not really, it's not a doomsday effect, but in the same breath, like if I don't change this, maybe I'm not going to live life to the fullest. Maybe I'm not going to reach
true.
For
That was
things.
very true. Yeah. One thing I was thinking of, just my husband and kids were very athletic and very energetic too. And I was slowing down and I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not going to be able to keep up with them and like do the things that we want to as a family. And, so that was definitely part of it. Like thinking about the future.
Yeah.
My mom, she was diagnosed at 57 with early onset dementia. And like, I was like, okay, I know it's not genetic per se, the type of dementia she had, but, I just wanted to make sure I was doing everything I could to prevent that from happening to me.
Yeah, I think I've seen that mindset has definitely shifted because obviously I didn't know you when you first started. Now I got the pleasure of meeting you, as I came on board and as we got to meet a lot of the 930 crew. But I know that mindset has shifted because when you talk about some of the feelings that you had in the beginning, and a lot of other women in particular, and I know some guys too, feel this way, is that they do think that they crave the weight loss. They think that they want that monetary value on the scale of accomplishment. They want to fit into that box that society says you should fit in. But when you peel back the onion, you start to pull away the layers. You start to come up with some of those things of, I want to keep up with my kids. Early onset dementia is part of my family history. Is that going to be me? What can I do right now to take those steps to not be that? How can I be the best possible version of myself? I think that's nail on the head for you right there. And then you share that with other women every day. Like when you're at the gym, like I hear the conversations that you have with some of these ladies that feel in that stuck position, in that plateau, and you take them to another level because you have been there. You know, you have lived it, and then you have had that mindset shift, and that's a powerful tool to have.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. It's been I always say I'm just like the average middle-aged woman. I'm just the average. I really am. And so for me to be able to make those changes and help others through it, I feel like I'm at a good place to do that. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I've always told people that, one of my favorite parts about our gym is the community. And,
sure.
People come because they want the results, but then they stay because they want to help the next person. And you are the absolute epitome of that. But let's back up just a little bit. So we're starting to talk about your transformation, but I want to talk a little bit about like that first day. Like, do you remember like when you walked in, like what are the things that you experienced, or do you remember like what that first starting point session was even like?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah.
I do. Yeah, it's funny because it was Matt who did it, and I remember I had on like black like stretch pants, but I had a sweatshirt on, and I was like so hot because I didn't know that we were going to be doing all these FMA, challenges or
Movements, and
and I remember like thinking like, okay, how is this really going to help me? But I'm sure. I mean, I was pretty like, all right, I'll do whatever you want me to do.
Yeah.
But I do remember feeling maybe inadequate, a little bit inadequate, or like, man, I have a long way to go. I can't do this well. I thought I was in better shape. Kind of those thoughts running through my head. But also I was happy though. I was like, oh, I'm doing something. Like maybe this will be, what I need. Yeah. So I was.
So like a little bit of gym intimidation, but in the same breath, okay, but at least I took that first step and I am here and I'm making this a priority, where this is going to take me.
Right.
I don't know just yet but I did take that first. I think that's not the hardest step to take is the first one.
Absolutely, it is. You got to get that momentum going, and there's no doubt about it. During that session, I mean, you said you had a little bit of that gym intimidation, as Ryan brought up, but like,
For sure.
do you remember anything that like kind of clicked? Was there any moment that you were like, all right, I mean, maybe this is different?
I'm sure I don't remember exactly the words that Matt said, but
Sure.
I mean, I think he was encouraging, like, we're glad you're here. And I just remember felt welcomed. And, I felt confident that he had the ability to help me, guide me, in a program or whatever towards reaching some kind of goal that I didn't even know I had, Right. So yeah, I definitely, he definitely made it feel welcoming and encouraging.
Yeah,
for sure.
Do you feel like, how did your body feel when you first started? I'm sure some of the movements came natural and maybe some things you did, but was it a step?
No, I was sore. I was so sore. And I feel like I didn't really just walk very slowly into it. Like I felt it, and I felt the endorphins. I just immediately felt so much better that, I was at full force. So I just remember one thing that was funny. Rose, our friend Rose, we were teaching Sunday school together on Sunday mornings. And so she saw that transformation every week. She was like, what is going on? But I would walk in and I'd be like, I'm sorry, I'm walking slow. Like every Sunday I'd have to walk in so slow because I was so sore. Yeah. But I'd probably admittedly dived in a little too quickly, but with the exercise part, but I felt great. So the changes came fast, and I was ready. I was ready for the changes. Yeah.
What do you think? So you'd jogged the mini marathon.
Yeah.
You'd worked out at the gym. You'd done all these things inconsistently. So we're here 13 years later from that starting date, and I can tell you without a shadow of a doubt that you are one of the most consistent people, not only with your exercise, but with your nutrition that I've ever met.
Yeah.
So like, what shifted for you?
Yeah, I think it all just clicked. Mm-hmm. I think the way I was eating, I would go back and forth. Like I would eat healthy and then not eat healthy. But it made so much sense to eat real food. Mm-hmm. Made so much sense. And I felt so much better. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh, I feel a world of difference. And then to exercise. And then I was strength training, which I had never really done before. I never had like a solid program before. And I loved it. Like the feelings that I got afterwards just felt stronger. I felt more confident, so I think that's what has still to this day kept me coming back. Yeah. I just know how much better I feel. Yeah. I know when I take time off, I like miss it and my body misses it. And so I'm just ready to get back. So I think that is probably the biggest change. Like it all clicked.
Yeah. And
pretty quickly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So even that fit, because a lot of females think when they first start that they have to work so hard and they got to work out 6 or 7 days a week in order to see results. When in reality, it's kind of in that like 4 workout a week range, maybe a couple strength, couple cardio or metabolic as we call them, workouts a week, and then some recovery in there, treating your body properly, going for walks, refueling, rehydrating. So I think this, part of that is setting that tone early. And I know you did that, and you had a lot of people in your corner, the Roses and the Judys and other women that were very like-minded as you to help set the tone, but then you helped carve the path as well to say, hey, there's a better way than just beating yourself up. And so I think that's credit to you too for like being willing to go on this journey yourself and take yourself on this path, but then also be willing to being open to new information, being willing to be open ears and open eyes and open heart for you, and just say, hey, I'm gonna buy in, I'm gonna invest in myself and my time, my energy, my focus, and my finances, and I'm just gonna see what it takes in order for me to create a lifestyle. And you have. Yeah. So I think just sharing, it's just a phenomenal story.
I think that's important too, because being open, 13 years ago, like we were talking about strength training for women. And it wasn't a normal thing then. You fast forward to 2025 and it's starting to gain traction. It's become more popular.
Yes.
But you fell in love with it.
Yeah.
You grabbed on really early on. And, one of the things that I love to tease you about, I don't know anybody else that gets excited when they see their new program come out. Like she knows Sunday when the new program comes out. But like, what is it?
I can't wait to see.
What is it about strength training though? Like what is it that has changed? I don't even know if it's not personality that's changed, but it's just what has fueled your love for strength training? Like what does it do for you?
Yeah. So it's hard to explain because I didn't know, like when I first started, like you said, I grew up in the aerobics, step aerobics, jazzercise era. And I liked that. And jogging, you always try jogging when you should. Anyway, that's another story. But so I had never consistently just lifted. And I think it just made me strong, honestly. I think I'm like just quieter by nature, just a little more laid back. I'm not, I am a little bit more now, but like just not super vocal. And that kind of just gave me a little bit more power to be more comfortable being myself as well. Yeah.
So you took your power back.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I ever like lost it, but I just gained some new power.
I like it. How much you deadlift? I know.
Well, 315.
Oh my.
Yeah, was my highest.
She's stronger than me.
Yeah, so with that strength training, I think you see that bleed into other avenues of your life. I know when we've talked previously, you talked about how taking ownership of your strength helped you take ownership over other things of your life. Like you had leadership roles. You talked about the Sunday school, but you were also in Bible studies, and now you volunteer weekly. There's roles where you are you're a kingdom worker. You're a friend, you're an influencer of people that need help and that crave personalities that feed them. And I think that's the same mentality you've taken with fitness. Like you feed into that strength training, you crave that next piece, you crave that advancement in the exercise, you crave lifting heavy things and proving that you can do something, so that you can prove to yourself that, hey, I can go help these other people too. I can be that strength for someone who needs to be lifted up. Yes. If I can lift the heavy weights in the gym, I can lift someone else up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure. And I don't know how many times I've told myself, like I'm getting into uncomfortable situation and I'm like, okay, if I can lift 315 pounds, I can do this. Yeah. And it helps. Like I remember, you just draw on that strength, mm-hmm. that inner strength. Yeah. And then too, I've always been, a caretaker, like went to nursing school and a nurse. And so it's just one way I can create that pathway to help other people. And I think, that's just my God-given abilities that he gave me. So
yeah, it's definitely your gift. All right, it's definitely your gift. Wanting and helping and caring for others. Yes. Because I tease you. You were the welcoming committee at Results by Design before there was even a welcoming committee around. She was.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So one of the things I want to kind of shift a little bit, like over the years, I know when we first started out, you jumped right on, and I know over the last 5, 6, 7 years. You've been all in, but mm-hmm. there were some years in between there, like where, maybe not exercise wise, but nutritionally, mm-hmm. That it wasn't always easy, right? There were moments where we quote unquote fell off the wagon, right? Yes. So for our listeners out there, talk a little bit about some of those moments and mm-hmm. like, what were the things that fueled those? And then what are some of the things that you've put in place or that we've helped you put in place that have gotten you past that?
Mm-hmm. A couple of things that I can think of specifically is staying on track, as far mm-hmm. as nutritionally, and then the holidays, just going, mm-hmm. Losing it and just gaining weight back over the holidays. So just really coming up with a plan for that has been beneficial. But then I would say the thing that probably I know Scott and I worked on a lot was eating too little.
That's what I want to talk about.
Yes, eating mm-hmm. too little. And I don't think I even realized it. Like it was definitely took a while to realize it. And I think you can only do that for so long until your body gives you signals, so you're working out so hard and you eat less and you lose weight and all those kind of things, which is great. But then you keep eating less and then your body's like, hey, this isn't going to work anymore. And I remember getting to that point a few, 4 or 5 years in, and really tracking my food. And seeing, you see it on paper, mm-hmm. This is how much I'm eating or how much I'm not eating. And that was a big mindset shift mm-hmm. to eat more. And now I'm all about it. I mean, I probably still need to eat more, but I have come so far and I'm so much more into eating to nourish your body, getting the nutrients that you need. Instead of not eating to be skinnier,
What do you think with society? Why is that I know the fads that we've heard from before, like the low carb and the low fats, but why is society so hard driven on eat less to lose weight? And because there's so many people that have that mentality of having the only way I can ever lose weight, and we still hear this on a daily basis, is I have to starve myself. Why do you think, how do you think society got to that point, and why do you think it's still?
I mean, I think for some people, they really do need to eat less. Like some people do need to eat less. They're eating large amounts of food. But then you have the other ones that eat so small. So they might have seen it work before, like the first time. And then kind of like for me, it was working until it doesn't work, until your metabolism it slows down and you've got to figure out a different way. But yeah, I think that's it's ingrained in us. I think it's shifting. It might be changing. I try to tell people all the time, you need to eat more.
Yeah.
Clients eat more.
I think you're right with that. I think diet mentality is definitely changing, and I think that's a lot of what it is. But part of it is just us as a society wanting things quickly.
Oh, true.
Right? We want something at the touch of a button.
Yeah.
We don't want to often put in the work that it takes.
Right.
I've regularly said over the years, you can lose it fast or you can lose it forever.
Definitely.
And those two things are not the same. And everybody thinks that, hey, I'm going to lose it fast and then keep it off. But typically the things you have to do to lose weight fast are often unsustainable and then put you in such a hole that you can't control what you do after that.
Right.
So that's huge. And I think that's what creates that yo-yo dieting, right?
Yeah.
Is that we do these things that, that work for a while, but the reality is the stuff that you're doing right now to lose weight is the stuff that you're going to have to do to maintain that weight loss. So if it's not fun, if it's not giving you life, if it's not giving you energy, if it's not reducing your hunger and keeping your cravings at bay, you're not going to stick with it.
Right.
100%. They're like, so many people are so hyper focused on the destination that they forget to fall in love with the journey. And falling in love with the journey is what helps you create those habits, those strategies, those tactics in order to make this a lifestyle and to actually enjoy your path to the destination, so that when you get there, you're not. Once you get to your destination, like you can't just end. Like life continues on, and what are you going to do once you do get there? So I think falling in love with those habits and those strategies and those tactics is number one, first and foremost, when it comes to. It doesn't matter what your goal is. How do we get there, and how do we get there and help you enjoy it so you can keep doing it for forever?
Yeah, for sure. That's when I work with clients now, we always talk about from the very start maintaining. Like, okay, the things, like you said, Scott, like the things that you are doing to change or whatever kind of changes you make, that's what you have to continue to do forever. It's a lifestyle change, because what's the point of losing, so much weight in 6 months and then just regaining it all back plus more? That's no fun. Like,
that's an overwhelming amount of pressure. Like, I got to get there as quickly as I can. Okay, all right. I'm gonna. We can't do that in our jobs. We can't do that with our family. Like, you have to. What you water grows, and it's not all right, I'm gonna pour the entire gallon of water on this flower and just hope that it's good tomorrow. Like, it's a constant daily practice. So, I think that's a strong suit of yours. Is you fell in love with the journey early, and you're still learning to fall in love with the journey. And not only that, is you're helping other people fall in love with it as well, and showing them the better way. Yeah.
Which segues perfect into what I want to ask you about next.
Sure.
It's really important to have support when you go on a journey like this. And while I know, the gym community has been a big support, I can't help but believe there's been a lot of support at home as well with your family. So tell us a little bit about that. How were they at first when you first started all this versus now?
Oh yeah. So definitely, it's definitely different. It has changed over 13 years. But I would say at first, my family, I remember I was always saying, well, Scott says this and Matt says that. And they were like, I think my kids were about to punch you all and they didn't even know you. They're like, why do you care what they say? Yeah. So there was a lot of resistance. I remember Dennis and probably the kids too. They were like, milk was gone. Like there were so many things that I just got, I didn't care. Yeah. I was like, nope, this is what we're doing and you're going with me. And one time I made gluten-free pasta for the first time and the kids were like crying at the table saying, but we love gluten. Like they knew what gluten was. But that was just the funniest story, and just other things that I've tried that they were like, what is going on? And then even, I just kind of forced it though, because I was the one that cooked the meal. So this is what we're going to eat. I allowed some things. But,
Sure.
But yeah, there was resistance. There was a lot of questioning. But maybe that helped me be able to answer questions,
Absolutely.
or even questions maybe I didn't even ask myself. But a lot of questioning, a lot of doubts, a lot of, why are we doing this, that kind of thing, until evolving over time, seeing how the results came, and that kind of thing that drove them almost the other way, where my husband now acts like he's the health coach. Sometimes.
I love it.
He does know a lot.
Yes.
I've taught him well. But yeah, he does great. And he supports me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%. I think
And
that's
the
so
kids
important.
too. Yeah.
Right. And, it's not just him and the kids. I've seen it expand into your sisters,
Yes.
your dad, your friends.
Yeah.
I love that about you.
Yeah.
And you've shared that with them constantly because, again, it goes back to just that's your nature. That's who you are.
Yeah.
That's who you are.
Yeah. And I tried not to, push it on them as much. But when people just see changes, and then they automatically kind of ask you questions on, so what do you think about this? What have you been doing here? And so, just
The Judy effect.
the Judy effect. Yeah.
You saw something that you desired,
Yes.
and I want that energy. I want that ability to stay hyper focused on my goal. How do I do it? And then you found it, and your family didn't know that the results that would follow, but once they saw the results that followed, that sparks questions for them. I know your I know how much of a healthy lifestyle they live. So think of the impact that they're going to leave behind for their kid now, and their generations to come. So I think that's a powerful element. We don't know the impact of something until we experience ourselves. Sometimes you can't. It's something that can't be explained. It's something that can only be experienced, and your story is a way for other people to experience that.
Yes.
Definitely. I think, one of the next things and one of the last things I want to kind of talk about, the listener out there that's sitting on the sideline, the mom that's out there overwhelmed, stressed to the gills, trying to figure out how do I make myself a priority? The dad in the same boat, the grandparents in the same boat, whatever it may be, they're hesitant to take on a lifestyle of fitness. We know how powerful it is. We know what it can do, but what would you say to that person that's still they're hesitant to take the first step?
So I would say take a good look at themselves and see if they're happy where they are, and see where they would want to be in the future. Is that the path that it's kind of like me, kind of like the path that you're on right now, is that going to lead you to your future, be able to be your best and have your quality of life, all the things that you want. And then start small. I mean, it doesn't have to be I was ready for change. And so you have to, so finding your why, I know that's a big one, but finding your why, and then starting small. You don't have to, go to the gym every single day, a couple days a week, make small changes.
Yeah.
So break it into small, manageable pieces. Even if you're at home, even if you start at home and just do something at home, and some kind of self-care at home, whether it may be stress reduction or movement or trying to eat healthier, any of those things. Just start small, but do one thing. Yeah, in one thing each day, and then build off of that. Yeah. So, but I mean, you gotta take risks. You gotta take this first step forward, and putting yourself a little bit more of a priority.
Just because it's small doesn't mean that it's not risky, and doesn't mean that it doesn't take courage. Yes. That first small step may look like it's 1,000 feet down, but oftentimes it can start a compounding effect that leads you into, the Jennifer. where you're living the healthiest life possible. You're helping other females and males too, but that, people just feed off like-minded individuals. And there's so many ladies I know that look up to you because they tell me on a consistent basis. So I just want to give you a shout out and let people know how they can reach out to you and find out more about you. You can reach Jennifer. You can look us up on Instagram at Results by Design Fitness. We're on Facebook as well, Results by Design Fitness. You can find us at resultsbydesignfitness.com. And Jennifer actually helps work out of the facility as a certified health coach. And she specializes with women who are 50 plus, who are experiencing similar things that she has seen over the years and some that she's experienced herself. And she takes you on this journey to where she meets with you in one-on-one sessions, and she can help you build those habits necessary in order to create a healthy and happy lifestyle. So I just want to give you that shout out before the episode ended. But anything else you'd like to?
I think you hit the nail on the head. Small hinges swing big doors. And when we're working with adults 40 plus in their 50s and their 60s, you got to find the why, because it's so important.
Yes.
Because often, we say weight loss, people tell us weight loss, but it's more than that.
Right.
It's the ability to get on the floor and play with your grandkids. It's the ability to live independently. It's the ability to keep up with your family, right? You were talking about in your 40s and their family's athletic and your kids were playing sports all over the place and having the energy to do those things.
Right.
Small hinges swing big doors, so start small. But
Got to start.
you got to start. You got to start. You can't wait. You've got to take action.
Yeah.
And one of the best ways to do that is we would love to invite you to come do a starting point session, right, at Results by Design Fitness. Coach Ryan will take you through a movement assessment. He'll sit down with you, discuss your goals. He'll talk about what you've done in the past, find out what your starting point is, find out what your goal or your destination is, and create a roadmap to get there. That's what we do really, really well, and we have over the last 15 years. So
100%, just like Jennifer did, almost 13 years ago in January. Take that first step. I'm more than happy to sit down with anyone and explore your story, just like Jennifer and just like Scott mentioned. You can reach me at ryan@resultsbydesignfitness.com and shoot me an email. Let me know your story. I'd love to hear it, and I'd love to see if I can even help you and what it might take to get you to your destination, just like Scott mentioned. So if you have any questions, you can also email us there, and you can find all information about how to incorporate health into your lifestyle at resultsbydesignfitness.com. Looking forward to hearing from you, and I'm looking forward to seeing you on the next episode of Live Healthy Louisville.